Hey guys, so we are back out in the cottage garden. We're right where we ended last night in front of the Cercis. Um, it's looking the same. Hopefully it will start perking up a little bit soon, but we're going to work on this area here that I cleared out. We have some things to plant that I already had, and so we're going to get those in the ground, get this area all tidied up. So let me show you what we're working with. Okay, so as you can see, this is the space that we're dealing with. We've got our Cercis over here. This is droopy hot lips salvia, which we're going to cut back. Like I said yesterday, this was growing up into the Dusty Miller, which supported it and kept it from flopping. I'm just going to give it a hard shear. It'll be fine. It'll come back. This particular salvia blooms all year for us, even in the winter time. So it will just put on more growth and it'll make it look a whole lot cleaner over here. We're going to go ahead and pull up these daffodil bulbs because I want to start from fresh in this area here. And then we are going to plant, and this is droopy because it needs more water, really needs to get out of this can. This is a Rudbeckia, this is Prairie Sun. And then here on the corner, we're going to put our little Mugo pine. This is a Mops Mugo pine. It grows 3 to 5 inches per year. Total size is 4 feet high and 4 feet wide. However, I'm going to trim this guy and keep it down to that. So we're going to stick it about right here. It'll come out this far or so. We're going to pop this guy here, and then I might put our white iceberg rose right there. So that's the plan in this area. I'm going to get it cleared up first, and then we will get to planting.
Soft, turn the key and cooler on. Push the pause for relief. Free pass, you don't even have to ask to be the cat in the sun. Someday I will see the whole deal through today. I've got better things to do, okay, to leave a little bit undone and be the cat in the sun. Be the cat in the sun. Set aside every empty spreadsheet line and loosen up on the grind. Simmer down, settle back and mess around. I will see the whole deal through today. I've got better things to do, okay, to leave a little bit undone. Be the cat in the sun. Be the cat in the sun.
Wow, it's so nice to have a very clear garden bed with lots of nice soil and open space. This is a rarity for me. Yeah, because I pack things in, so this feels really good. I think the Mugo pine is in the perfect spot. It will literally fill out this whole area here. This Rudbeckia Prairie Sun probably won't get that much bigger here, but it will send up a whole bunch of flower spikes, and those are actually perennial for us here. And then our Iceberg Rose, which is still pumping out the flowers. So pretty. Okay, now I'm just going to do some weeding here in the garden and a little bit of trimming back and try to tidy up. Well, it's the next day. I have not been feeling too well. I've been having migraines for this is my third day. So yesterday I stopped working. It was getting warm out here and I was just not feeling well. So stopped working and now we're back to it. Not going to do a whole lot today. We are planting some summer color in this garden with some dahlias here. So this one actually does not have a variety. Oh, yes, it does. No, it doesn't have a variety on it. Just says dahlia. So these guys, of course, they want full sun. Grows 10 to 18 inches. So these are not cut flower dahlias. I mean, you can use them as cuts, but they are not tall stems like we get when I grow them out at the farm. So these are bedding plants intended to be smaller. I'm going to put some slow release fertilizer in there as well as some starter fertilizer. Okay. Anyway, these guys are not intended to be tall. They're bedding plants. They're made to go in your borders or in pots. And they tend to bloom more, honestly, than their tall field-grown varieties types. But I need some summer color in here to start transitioning because like our campanula is about to go. This is the first stem, but the rest is about to bloom. We've got all these beautiful irises and stuff, and we've got our white roses, but I put a Rudbeckia Prairie Sun here. We're gonna start transitioning these beds from like all the light pastels of spring into some summer colors. So I have one more to plant right down here. I do think I'm gonna have to move this rose that's back here. It's Romantica Ball Gown. It's beautiful. It is blooming, but the coral berry around it is starting to take over. So yeah, it might be better to pull her out and put her somewhere else, but I don't have a location for her right now, so I'm gonna leave it. Maybe I'll just wait and do that over the winter when it's dormant. Well, as dormant as roses get for us here. Probably be easier then to pull her out. I probably will actually just put her in a pot, a nice big pot, instead of somewhere back in the landscape. Okay, more time release and more starter. Now I have another event this weekend. So I just harvested this morning a big bucket of mint and a big bucket of Linaria. This is becoming my very favorite flower this year. It's the first time I've grown it. I harvested a whole bunch, so it looks pretty bare right now, but there were probably about 50 more stems here. This is Linaria. I grew all these from seed this year. This is my first time growing them. They are so pretty. Thin stems, and so they probably could do with some support. In fact, I think I'm going to cut all of this way back. These are a cut and come again flower. They look like tiny little snapdragons. This was a mix, and so there's white and yellow and pink and hot pink and purple. Just beautiful flowers. Very sweet. And like I said, they're cut and come again. So they'll just keep coming back till frost. And I will, towards the end of the season, I will let them go to seed and drop their seed so that they come back here next year. This is like an MVP for me. It's such a great flower. Holds up 7 to 10 days in a vase and super easy to grow. But like I said, they could use some support. The ones in the back did not flop because they are more out of the wind than the ones in the front. But yeah, just a very pretty flower. I am really enjoying using them. Here's some more over here. They hold up, like I said, great in a vase, and they were also great in corsages and boutonnieres. Light, airy. It's a really lovely addition. They held up well with the cold glue for corsages. They did great in boutonnieres. So this is like a really great multi-purpose flower. So I would recommend growing these. I think I got the packet of seeds from Johnny's. I don't know, but just look it up. Linaria, Linaria. If you've never grown them before, I highly recommend it. This is like I said, my first year, and I'm really enjoying them. Okay, we got those planted. I am going to get a lot more things to put in this bed now that I've got the cress out of here, because we've got lots of holes, which is a nice thing. But I don't want to get anything super huge because we have planted Monarda and some other things that are going to get big, like the Baptisia and stuff there in the mid to back of the border. But I do want to get a few things for like the front mid, and that we need to replace some of the Proven Winners plants that just did not survive. They came out of the box looking bad in the mail and just never really rebounded. And so I need to get a few things to replace those for the front of the border. But otherwise, this bed is a work in progress, but considering it was just lawn a couple of months ago, I think we've come pretty far. It's looking pretty good. Okay, next thing we need to do is create a small succulent garden as a gift. Somebody ordered because I need to ship that tomorrow. So let's go in the greenhouse. It should be a little bit cooler in there because it'll be out of the sun, and we'll get a fun succulent garden put together. Okay, we're going to do a few things in here today. First, we're going to build this little succulent garden. So it's going to be in this little octagonal container. Weighs a lot. So I kind of screwed up. On my website, I offer these, and up to this point, everybody who's ever bought one has been local. And so, the shipping, I just charge like $5 because that's what I'm basically charging them for me to deliver it to them. But this one came in and I saw the delivery address was Sunnyvale. That's technically in the Bay Area, but for me, it's a 3-hour round trip with our traffic. I'm not delivering this by hand, so that means I'm going to ship it. And the great thing about succulents is you could totally ship them. So I'm going to plant this, we'll take it to FedEx tomorrow, and they will do the shredded paper thing and all that kind of stuff, pack it really, really well, put all the warnings on the bag and on the package and everything, and then it'll get shipped. But that's going to cost a lot. It's probably going to cost almost as much as the guy paid for it, but whatever. That's my fault. That's not his fault. And so I'm just going to eat that cost. But I thought that this collection would look really cute in here. Normally I would want to put something tall, something potentially already flowering, but because it's going to be shipped in the mail, I want these things to have a low profile so that they don't get crunched and all that stuff. So we're going to plant this up. Then we're going to go ahead and pot up this guy. It's been sitting out for quite a while. This is a fairy crassula. Needs some water, very, very dry in there. So I'm going to go ahead and soak it in some water first, and then we'll pot it up just into a terracotta pot. And then we're going to pot up Dylan's gift to me for Mother's Day. This is a miniature rose. It had already been deadheaded when he got it. So, he works at a nursery. So he's like, I have no idea what color it's going to be. So we already have a white miniature rose that I got so that I could use it in addition to the iceberg for corsages and stuff like that. But we're both hoping maybe this is like a pink or a red or a yellow. So it definitely needs to be potted up. It's not root bound or anything, but it'll be a lot happier in a terracotta pot that breathes better than its nursery can. So those are the 3 things we're going to do right now.
in a drinking hand, choosing gratitude is high and free.
Cute. And this will travel okay. So we'll get that shipped off tomorrow. So just to update you on what's going on in the greenhouse. We've got sunflowers here. These never germinated, so I think they're just really old seed. But these guys germinated, and yesterday I sowed a new round. So probably sometime next week, early next week, we'll go ahead and transplant these out at the farm. These guys still obviously need some time. These are zinnias. They are looking great. Just fertilized them yesterday. They're going to go out to the farm probably in another week. I want them to be a little bit bigger because then they get hit with skeletonization out there by bugs, and so I want them to have a little bit more growth on them. And then yesterday I sowed more zinnias. This is another round. This is Queenie Lime with Blush. I just did all the watering and took stock. We're getting to the point now where I'm going to need to get plants for all the containers that have violas in them, because those need to come out soon. They are finally kind of running their course. That was amazing. I will do that again. Sow from seed. In fact, I've already bought my seed to start in December for violas and a whole bunch of new varieties. So yeah, that was so fun, and they were so beautiful. And I actually cut on them. A number of them had super long stems, like 18 inches, because I planted them under the citrus. And in order to get to the light, they had to extend and get long and tall. And so I got a lot of usable cut stems from them, not for big market bouquets, but for like bud vases and smaller vases. It's been great. Plus they are amazing also in corsages and boutonnieres. So yeah, just all around wonderful workhorse flower. So there are a number of containers that I need to switch out. But I have no plans for those yet. So I think the nursery should be open tomorrow. I have to get up super early in the morning and go get some flowers from the Flower Mart. I've been able to harvest half, at least more than half of what I need for this event this weekend. They are, it's just 23 vases that I'm making, and they're all going to have the same things in them. It's a recipe, so it's going to go pretty quick. And she comes pick those up on Saturday. So I'm going to get the few extra things that I need tomorrow at the Flower Mart. And I'll probably do some of them tomorrow and then the rest on Friday, just so I don't feel like I have to do 23 vases all at the same time. But I think also tomorrow we'll go to the garden center and pick up plants for all the things that we need. And it's going to be quite a haul. What's really nice about my business, finally, this is my 5th year, I am finally, well, last year I was profitable for the first time. This year I'm profitable in a good way. Like, I'm not paying myself yet, but what I'm doing is I'm using the money that I probably would have paid myself to buy plants for the landscape, and then I can also cut on. So it's kind of putting the money back into the business. And so, yeah, it feels good to be 2 years running now not using any personal funds. To start this business, I only ever used personal funds. I never took out a loan or anything like that. I was fortunate to be able to do that. And so my business has no debt, which is great. And I'd like to keep it that way. So I don't feel so bad about spending a whole bunch of money on plants that are going to go in the cottage garden, because I'm going to get stems off of those. So they're going back into the business. Plus the front garden, I just did a bunch of pinching today. All those Lisianthus out there, plus all the Lisianthus in here and all the Lisianthus at the farm, that's going to be hundreds and hundreds of stems. So it's all paying for itself, and it's great. We do need to go back out to the farm, though. I don't know if that'll be Thursday or Friday, but it's time to pinch. So I've been pinching zinnias and Lisianthus, but now we need to do the marigolds and probably some of the snapdragons. The mums need pinching, all that kind of stuff. So there's a bunch of pinching to do and a ton of weeding. Because we got that rain in May, early May, the weeds have come back with a vengeance. And it's really hard to... it's hard to weed there because it's not just grasses. So like, we can bring our mower out and set it at the highest setting, but you know, we have wood chip pathways and the mower doesn't fit in the pathways. And most of the bad weeds are thick thistles, cardoons, which also are thorny, blackberry, which is thorny, and poison hemlock. And so you have to be really careful when you are working with those things. I can chop them up, some of it with the mower, but also some of it, like the stems on some of those thistles are too thick and the mower just bogs down. So we can go through with a hedge trimmer, but that's a lot of work on the back. I don't like using the string trimmer out there anymore because most of what we're cutting is thorny. You know, a string trimmer flings stuff everywhere, so it's flinging it on me or in the beds. And then when I put my hands in the beds or whatever, I get poked by the thorns and little pieces that got left behind. So I'm still trying to figure out the best way to deal with them. The good news is that if we don't get any more rain, we probably only need to do this massive weeding maybe 2 times. And then because it'll be all dry with no rain, they'll just be done for the season. And then we don't have to worry about them until we start getting rains again in the fall. So that's what's on tap for the next couple of days. We are finally moving into our warmer weather. It's still beautiful in the daytime. I mean, the other day it was hot, but for the most part, we're in the mid to upper 70s with a light breeze. And at night, we're in the 50s instead of in the 40s. So things at the farm are finally starting to grow because most of what's out there now really responds better to warmer weather. So I am also going to need to bring out some Captain Jack's, which is a spinosad, to spray on all the zinnias and some of the smaller seedlings, because this happens every year. You put them in the ground, they look beautiful like the ones I just showed you, and then overnight they get skeletonized by whatever insects are out there. They're not getting cut off at the base, it's just it's not leaf miners, it's different. It's literally like some kind of caterpillars or something else. Anyway, Captain Jack's takes care of that. Or I could use BT, which is the bacteria that also attacks those types of caterpillars. So yeah, I need to do that as well, because when they get their leaves skeletonized, eventually they overcome it, but it does stunt them and takes them back. So I'd rather treat that now so that we can move ahead. So yeah, lots to do. I have some celosia and basil that needs to go out and get planted. So we'll be busy. But I'm really looking forward to doing the nursery shopping. I'm trying to be smart about it. I think we're going to do a lot of begonias, like in the old strawberry tower that has all those violas in it. I think we're going to do begonias in there because they can handle sun or shade, and that tower gets both sun and shade. It gets mostly afternoon shade, afternoon sun, so it's hotter. But begonias can handle that. So yeah, I think that's what we're going to do there, and then we'll get more annuals for the cottage garden places where we've already pulled stuff out and weeded and opened up space. And then I have a bunch of containers that need to be refreshed. Those violas are done in there. They need, some of them need fresh soil, and we'll start from scratch on that and get some beautiful things in there. I might just be sticking with a lot of petunias and dahlia bedding plants because they look great and they bloom all season, and they just pump out the flowers, and it'll look good with very little work. So that's probably what we're going to go with. Okay, guys, thank you so much for hanging out over the last 2 days. I hope you have a wonderful time in your garden, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.